Hi, and welcome to Sweet Bee. This is our live stream series highlighting artists in and around our area. And tonight, we welcome our largest group yet. This is a group that I actually went with my wife to see someone else we knew. We went to check out the Couldn't Be Happiers because we were told that we needed to see the other people that were playing with them as well. And if they recommended them, I said, okay. And so we went, and they didn't get half of the first song in. And I leaned over to my wife, and I just went, I have to have them on my show. And she went, I know. And then we got a couple more songs in, and I started putting together kind of things that I was picking out, things that I was noticing. And I just became more and more and more interested. And so after a very quick post-show conversation, a few phone calls, text messages, and emails, we are where we're here today, and we're really happy to welcome the Shoaldiggers. Yes.
What's up?
Thanks, so welcome to the show, and thank you guys for being on. I have to, out of the gate, admit that I have this really bad habit of trying to relate groups that I hear to other groups that I know. And so as I'm sitting there and I'm listening, and forgive me, it's what I hear, but I go, okay, it's a little bit Primus with a little bit Bella Fleck with a little bit of ska.
Wow.
And there's these little touches of things that I'm hearing, and it's not just in the orchestration and the musical acuity, if you will, but also in the way you form the story and the phrasing and the interaction on the stage. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. And so I kind of want to start here, not asking of those as from like an influence standpoint, but how much of that is intentional and worked on, and how much of it just happened because it's who you are?
I'd say it's about 75% that's who we are, but who we are came about because of trying to, most of us have been playing for a long time, and we put a lot of energy into becoming good musicians and writing these kinds of songs, and so definitely 75% of it is that factor. Yeah. The other 25% is this beautiful harmony between everyone here that is magical, and we're blessed to be in a band together.
Yeah, that's fantastically said. Let's start with everybody that's here, because like I said before, it's the largest group we've had on. I cannot promise that I'm going to nail names, so I'm not even going to try to introduce everybody, but can we kind of go through the group, kind of who you are, what you play, and anything else that you might want to mention?
We'll start over here.
Sure. I'm Beck, and I play guitar and mandolin in the Shoaldiggers, and super happy to be here tonight, making this kind of music for everybody out there watching. We hope to get on your stage sometime soon. Thank you.
My name is Daryl White. I play the upright and make corny off-color jokes.
My name's Gary. I get the jokes about half the time. The other half, they're about the banjo player, which is who I am. Play a little guitar too. And I was friends with this guy back here and didn't know the rest of the crew, and then I had uploaded this video of myself playing banjo on YouTube, and it showed up on his recommendations. And he didn't even know I played banjo. And so that's kind of how I got into the band. It's a fun little story.
Yeah. I'm Chris. I play guitar and a little slide. Also provide lodging, room and board for the band members, as well as some catering services.
Every week.
As well as sort of like general accounting, bookkeeping, also creative direction and design services for the band. And also I got my wife into the band, who you'll meet in a minute. So that's also
So you made yourself quite indispensable, it sounds.
keystone.
Secured the position. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm Steven, and I play drums. And this is the first time I've got to play with these guys in the last 3 years. My family moved away for a little while, and I'm really, really happy to be back and be back with the community of people that I get to make awesome music with.
That's awesome.
We are thrilled to have...
Lucky.
His last name's Riddle, and we call him Riddle, but it's so good to have you back.
Too cool.
We're going to pop this cherry tonight.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm Megan, and I do harmony things. I do percussive harmony and vocal harmony.
Very well.
Beautifully.
I'm Allison, and I play the alto saxophone and the musical saw and a little backup vocals.
And occasionally a lead vocal or two.
Yeah.
And once a leader.
I'm Ben. I play the trumpet. I'm the only person that doesn't sing. So I think I got in the band because this is my sister.
That's awesome. It's fantastic, and I hope, given those insights, kind of opens the door a little bit into the magic you were talking about earlier as well. Because the chemistry is not only obvious, but also it's contagious. It's kind of one of those, like, you just kind of want to be part of the group. You get around you for a few minutes, and I think it's a fantastic quality to have in a band. While we're talking about names and stories and that kind of stuff, so Shoaldiggers. I don't personally know what a shoal digger is. I know a couple of definitions for shoal, but I don't know what a shoal digger is. So I'm wondering the name
A
and
shoal
why.
digger wears a red carnation, loves to play music. No, I'm just kidding. We were formerly called Coleslaw. We started out as Coleslaw, and as kind of a, core of us here, small group, and we thought it was just fun playing in Hillsborough, where we all live, except for Gary and Riddle, Durham, right up the street. But as we got more serious, when we were going to record our first record, we looked online, and lo and behold, other people were dumb enough to name their band Coleslaw. And so we wanted to have a clean slate, so we're like, look, this is the time, and we played with different slaw variations, and none of that worked. None of that work is all booked.
I have to, like what? I have to, like, slaw variations?
Like Soul Claw.
Okay.
No. Like stick. Like slaw, and we threw them out and researched them, but
Yeah.
so we wanted an original name, and I'm gonna stop talking here, but we came up with 51 names that were serious, not including Poop Tuba and the various joke names.
A lot of jokes, yeah.
And we fought for 3 weeks. I'm gonna let somebody else take over.
I was in
I'll say-
Texas when that happened, and I got sent that list and was like, I'm so glad that I am a couple thousand miles away, letting them
Still
hammer this
included.
out.
We needed Steve Riddle involved in that conversation. That was one of the most difficult things that we've done as a band, actually.
Was renaming.
Yeah.
Rename.
That was the initial name equally as hard, and somebody just said, Coleslaw, and everybody went, yeah, Coleslaw.
Well, our buddy, it was 2:00 in the morning, and we were around a campfire, and we had just met the first time we ever played. And our buddy listening to us play goes, "That sounds like Coleslaw."
And that stuck.
And it did too,
Until
because
we
it
shook
was
it.
chop, 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 chop.
So then,
Yeah, we shook it. We shook it
Yeah.
off. It was not an easy thing to do.
how long ago?
That was
About a year and a half.
little over a year,
Almost.
little over
Okay.
a year ago. We put out our album Currents, which we're
Yeah.
really, really proud of it.
Good album.
And we're proud to be sitting here in front of you as the Shoaldiggers now. It wasn't an easy process to get a name that's 100% original. We couldn't find another example of the Shoaldiggers online, except for a little fishing lure, which
Yeah.
is used to probably fish shallow water where you want to get down in there and find some
Shoal
fish
is
there.
a group of fish, and you get
It is also a group of individuals.
It is a troop, I think. is
Exactly,
actually how it's-
and
how
so
it's
we're
defined.
digging it, and that's kind of what the Shoaldiggers is all
I
about.
love it. I absolutely love it. So when you're dealing with a group this size, and you're down a man, I don't want to neglect that. You're
Usually
actually
9.
Jim
Yeah.
Adams, we love you,
My,
brother.
my,
brother.
my wife's a little disappointed. She was looking
Oh,
forward
he's
to.
entertaining.
Yeah.
He's the eye candy.
But when you're working and writing and doing, when you're not just doing music together, but you're doing life together too. But as that bleeds over into orchestration and that kinds of things, like, how do you approach creating a song with as many moving parts? And because it's hard to do and it not come out like mud, it's hard to do and not step on each other harmonically or anything. Like, is there someone who takes care of orchestration stuff? You guys all kind of find your voice? How do you work on that?
Our buddy Daryl here is pretty solid in that department, and he carries the lion's share of it, really.
Well, thank you. I have a lot of experience, and luckily these guys value my opinion, and I have a lot of them. But yeah, we all write songs and kind of come in with a skeleton, and then arrangement-wise, we do a lot of working it out in the band room. But also in terms of songwriting, being a bass player, I like space. I like make sure everything has its part and everything's there. So we definitely focus on not turning into a muddy wall of sound.
Yeah.
Spend some time making sure that does not happen.
From a receiving end, it pays off. I mean, you guys do it really, really well. I mean, one of the things that I've really enjoyed in listening and even going through the album and getting to know you guys a little bit better and familiarizing myself is how you play with orchestration dynamics and knowing when not to play and to have that many people, but to know when to step back and not do something and to build it back up. It's inspiring, man. It's really, really good. And I think it's a note that others could take as well. I mean, anything from a 4-piece to 12 or even more. I mean, just knowing how to let music breathe a little bit. And you guys seem to do that really well. When you're playing live versus a studio, I mean, because as people will find out in just a little bit when they get just a small taste of what you guys can do, I can see the opportunity to just take off in just jam band mode and just go. And so I'm wondering, like, how often does that happen, if that happens? And then how do you stay accountable to the arrangement and stuff? I mean, what do you do in a live setting to kind of bring it back around? Because that's a lot of people to go, we've gone, now we got to come back and kind of land the plane.
We don't stray too far from the ranch live because, we do have a group. We rehearse, stay pretty true to the arrangement so that when we're having fun, maybe you call an audible and say, hey, we're going to throw an extra break. We'll go around one more time, and maybe Ben takes a break. We've been giving him a lot of surprise breaks lately. But like that. But I mean, we don't. It's not. There's just too many folks to get into too much extended jam.
There's a few vocal cues and the old classic bluegrass.
Right.
But this is one. If you hear that, time to bring it on.
Everybody wraps it up at that point.
Oh, now I'm going to listen for that every time you guys play it.
It's there tonight.
It's there.
So one more thing before we kind of start pointing things towards the break and transition, because we definitely want to get you guys on the stage and give you time to play. The scale of it, because when we first talked, and I think, Daryl, you and I were talking, and you talked about like the immediate thing was we can do what we do acoustically, or we can bring us, and I was very resentful. I was like, no, we will figure out how to get everybody in the room no matter what. How does, and I'm mainly asking this for people who may be wrestling with the same thing as an artist, or potentially people who want to come check you out or book you or something like that. So I definitely want to get this information in there. The scalability of your group, how does that work?
That's an interesting question. We, like Daryl said, we started with a core string band. And then originally we were 3 strings. And then we added Stephen Riddle, and he backed us up with a little bit of drums. And by the way, his bass drum was a cardboard crate that he played with Coleslaw.
Did that in a snare for at least a year.
Yeah, very stripped down.
I missed the coleslaw.
And a stack of cowbells for special flair. But anyway, basically, nobody really relies too heavily on like strictly an amped instrument. You know what I mean? So we have a format that will stand. We had the power go out one time during a gig, and we just soldiered right on. It actually ended up being really cool. Yeah. We rocked them out just acoustic, and it's really cool to be able to do that.
Oh, that's fun. That's cool. That's awesome.
And it has a lot to do again with the people involved here because sometimes we call it the core group, the strings, but all these guys are very open to being involved in the band, and then, if they need to step aside, they do. They're very busy. So again, we're just blessed. We have a weekly, Chris and Megan, our practice night. We usually have a dinner and sit down together. So this is very much a special thing.
And it's not just us. We bring
family.
Yeah, we bring family and kids and everything.
Got a pretty big
it's
Shoal family.
It's a Shoal family that ends up being able to be together every week.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Beyond just making music.
Yeah. It's interesting because we do get approached every now and then about a more acoustic pared down kind of sound, and we're working on that and trying to find how do we take gigs where we're the full show, and how do we find ways to sort of bring it back into more of a string band kind of format. And we're trying to find as many ways to be flexible. As Daryl said, we have a lot of busy people with families. We're blessed by the fact that we all live fairly close to one another, and we've got this music uniting us. So we're we're super lucky. In that way.
Diversity.
That's
Say
awesome,
that
man.
word a few times.
And the music is good enough that it's one of the highest priorities in all of our lives, really.
Yeah.
With the busy lives, it's great that the music is that sustainable.
I love that. That's very well said. I want to kind of guide us into a break, and so we're gonna break for a few minutes and transition and get you guys on stage and stuff. But before we do that, any shows that are coming up? Where can people find you online? Website, social media? Where can we send people? Because during the break, what I want everybody to do is to go find your page, like your page, follow your pages, follow your account, see where you're playing near them, that kind of stuff. So where can we send the audience?
www.shoaldiggers.com. Sign up to the mailing list. We don't do a bunch of junk, but we do have a Shoal Digger of the Month where we spotlight one of the members, and it's pretty comical, if I do say so myself. Somebody else want to take the gigs?
Yeah, the tour schedule is on the site as well. You can find us on the grams at the Shoaldiggers.
We're on Spotify. We're on
iTunes,
Facebook.
any music service, YouTube, any streaming,
Instagram.
iTunes.
And we've got some shows coming up. We've got a show in our hometown of Hillsboro on June 7th at the Nash Street Tavern, one of our favorite little neighborhood bars. And then following that week, we're going down to one of our very, very favorite venues, the Ocean Grill and Tiki Bar down in Carolina Beach for June 13th, a Thursday night.
Playing on a pier with the ocean as a backdrop. It's beautiful.
Drive down early because the set starts at a little after 7 and ends by 9, so don't miss it.
And they're going to hire and bring a videographer. And,
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a quick break and let these guys get into place to do what they do. Trust me, you're not gonna want to miss this. So please, during this break, go check them out, like their pages, follow their accounts, do everything you can to support them, and we'll be right back with the Shoaldiggers.
Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah.
We are so happy to be here. We couldn't decide what song to play, so we made up a medley for you. This is going to be 6 Degrees of Freedom by Mr. Stephen Beck, Josephine by Mr. Chris Knotts, then an oldie but a goldie, Bocas del Toro, and then a little snippet of a brand new one called Two Devils.
There's a woman at the heart of every cruel tale. Her name is stamped on your coffin nail. She's the wind that blew through the hole in your sail, and the deep salt sea'll be your cold black jail. Well, I left my home in a row with my pa. With clenched fist I cracked his jaw, and I bade farewell to my good mama, and of me no more she ever saw. In the days before the last Great War, there lived a country doctor came from my hometown. And his little girl was frail, she was small and pale, but he loved her just the same as she was old. And every day he'd rise, he'd look into her eyes and tell her, honey, it's not gonna keep you low. 'Cause every day you stand is still gonna make you tall. Until you get there, your family won't let you call. So you can learn how to give without letting anybody take. It's so that when they hit you, your bones won't break. Yeah, learn how to take your He's a bitten and bloodied from decisions that he's made about the mind. Mouth of the bull. Watch that bull now. Said, watch that mouth of the
Hey, thank y'all.
I'd like to think they couldn't be happier for bringing us some donuts, getting the sugar rush on. All right, another medley. Like we said, we were like, what are we going to play? What are we going to play? And so we were like, we're going to play a bunch of our songs all put together. This is Shotgun, Rebar Sunsets, All Boats Like Whiskeys Are Good, and a little more Rebar Sunsets.
A little more.
All original material from the
Second
Shoaldiggers.
helping of Shoaldiggers.
like those whiskeys are.
Shoal power.
Thank you, Professor B.
Guys, thank you. I'm going to try to shake everybody's hand right now. Thank you for being on so much. I'll shake yours. Come stand right here. So again, if somebody with a microphone will let them know, where can they go find you? Where can they see you?
June 7th, Hillsborough, Nash Street Tavern. June 13th, Ocean Grill Tiki Bar, Carolina Beach, North Carolina. And there's much more on the website, www.shoaldiggers.com, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. I love you guys. Thank you.
Perfect. Guys, thanks again so much for being on. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks again, guys.